Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here, and I'm going to bring you a awesome finger picking style lesson right now. We're going to zoom in. I'll show you the chords, all the parts, and then the finger pattern. So we'll get into it, and hopefully you'll learn something and have some fun. Also, real quick, I would appreciate you subscribing to this new YouTube channel of mine. I really appreciate that support. And, go ahead and leave comments, like the video. Let me know other lessons you'd like to see, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. But anyway, let's zoom in and break this one down right now. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to show you all the sections here, and it's obviously a little finger picking thing, but you're going to see the finger picking pattern pretty much is the same thing over and over with different chord shapes. Also, not everyone's thrilled about this, but you have to tune your guitar down one whole step to make it match up. And so that would be E down to D, this A down to G, D down to C, G down to F, B down to A, and then E down to D as well. So whole step down tuning. And then we start with the index finger on the 6th fret of the A. I'm just still going to call it the A string, even though it's been tuned down. So we have 6th fret, and then ring finger on the 8th fret of the B. And this is very similar techniques to the song Blackbird by the Beatles. So let's go through the chords first. We have this one, and you're going to pinch them, because eventually we're going to be doing a little thing, but let's just do a pinch. And then we move up to the index on the 11th of the A, ring on the 13th of the B. So then middle finger on the 8th fret of the low E, and ring finger on the 8th fret of the B. So far. And so what I'm doing is my thumb is covering the 6th fret of the E string. And then we're not going to be plucking the B string on this chord, but I think just to keep it out of the way, I'm covering the 6th fret of the high E and the B. And eventually there's a little pinky lick. So let's go through the chords again. 6th fret, 8th fret, 11th fret, 13th fret, 8th fret, 8th fret, and then 6th fret, 6th fret. And we're pinching the low E and the high E. And then eventually we're going to do while we're holding that thumb note, we're going to hit 9, 8 on the B string with our pinky. That's a good starting point without the mucky muck of what our fingers are going to have to do. So check it out. One more time slow. Now we're going to work on the finger pattern, because if you get the finger pattern for this part, then you got it for the rest of the parts. So let's get into that. Oh, and also it alternates. So you've got and then every other time you simply move, and you'll hear it in the song. It does it on the intro too, which would just be, instead of you just move that chord down a whole step, so it'd end up being the 6th on the low E and the 6th on the B, and then the singing. So let's get to it. First chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and... So I'm pinching the A and the B string. 1 and 2 and... So we go 1, and then my index is gonna, and the index is gonna do this a lot. It's hitting the open G. 1 and 2, so 1 and 2 and 3 and... So I'm doing middle finger on the B, index on the G. The pinch, and then back and forth between the B and the G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and... So it does 3 on the first one and 5 counts on the second one. Check it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and... And so 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then the same pattern again, 1 and 2 and 3 and for the third chord, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and... So check out what, this is the hardest one. We're covering the 6th with our thumb, and then the 6 on the B and the high E, and I'm going... So I'm having to do middle finger on the high E, index on the G. So check this one out. Here it is again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and then I'm going to pinch thumb and the 9 of the B and then index on the G. Pinch now on the 8 of the B with the thumb and then the open G. So here it is again. One more time. From the top. Remember that whole step interlude down there. One more time from the top. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and... And remember the alternating, so... right? So now we need the pre-chorus. Once we've got this finger thing down, and I recommend you just keep practicing that pattern, then what we're going to do is we're going to play a C minor, although everything's down a whole step, but I'm going to just call it by the concert, you know, not the concert, but what I'm, you know, just pretend that it's not by the way I'm referring. Sorry, I'm going on too much. All right, so now let's do the pre-chorus, which is, I'm thinking of it as C minor, but our guitar's tuned down a whole step. So it's not really C minor, it's actually B flat minor, but I'm just gonna call it C minor for ease. And we're gonna cover that 8th fret starting on the D, but then my ring finger is gonna be on the 10th fret of the D, and that pattern is gonna be pinch on the D and the B, and then that same thing that we learned already. So I'm pinching D and B, and then the G, B, G, B, G, B, G. So and then what we got to do is this first one with the ring finger, then ring finger comes off, and that's why I'm covering already the index right here on the 8th, so we don't have to do anything new. See that? Then with tracking my index finger down to the 7th, then I have to switch my fingers. So my index goes to the 7th, and then my middle goes to the 8th of the G. Ring finger goes to the 8th of the B, and it's the same pattern. And then the index goes down one more while these stay. So these are both on the 8th. The index is on the 7th and slides down 1/2 step to the 6th. And that is this pre-chorus section. Switch. Then it starts over again. Second time, it doesn't go one more, it stops right there. So final pinch on the D and B with thumb and middle, and then right into the chorus. And the chorus is the exact same strumming, you know, or finger picking as the beginning, but just the chords are moving around differently. So let's do it from the top real quick. New part. Repeat. Stop right here. And then we have the chorus, which starts on the 11 of the A, 13 on the B. And the picking's all going to be the pinch, and then B, G, B, G, B, G with the index and middle. So So let me show you those chords and then we'll add the picking. So 11 on the A, 13 on the B, then 6 on the A, and 8 on the B, then 3 on the A, and 4 on the B, then 1 on the A, 3 on the B. So from the top of the chorus. Then up to 8 on the A, 9 on the B, followed by 6 on the A, 8 on the B. So, and then 1 on the A, 3 on the B for twice as long. So that's the whole chorus. Let's do it one more time just with the chords. Now we simply just do that same thing, but add the B, G, B, G, B, G, the Bee Gees. Hey, I didn't know the Bee Gees were part of this. You know, ba-do-dee-doo, dee-doo, 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 dee-doo. So when you add that, it starts to sound really cool. See that? Up. All right, so the bridge section, no new chords, which we like, no new finger patterns, which we like. It goes like this. So it's this first one here, which is 8 and 9 on the B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 6 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's the bridge. So you add the pattern. All right, there it was. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Also, I really would appreciate you subscribing to this channel of mine. And go ahead and leave comments, like the videos, let me know other things you'd like to learn. I really appreciate all that support and feedback. Thank you so much. And can't wait to see you again. So, see ya!